Hello, creatives. Welcome to the Moon series. This is where, through card messages, our spirit guides invite us to take a look at ways to raise our vibration with the waxing and waning moon cycle. If you're new to my channel, hi, my name is Beth. And I use the archetype cards to see what aspect of ourselves we'll be working with. My very own cards of truth, cartomancy cards, for how to begin forming a plan of action. And the Lenormand cards that give us a means of support. And ending with a sweet starseeds card for a kind of you've got this kiss on the top of your head. Now, you'll find links below to find your own free personal cardology chart, and when you do, you'll then see what cards you have in the placements of your emotional tendency, the moon, your destiny, life path, the ecliptic, and where you are being invited to explore for direction and answers, Rahu, and all of your other planets and cards. This is a new moon in Taurus, so we'll be asking the powers that be, what are we ready to receive and practice manifesting over the next 2 weeks? Let's get started with a quick look at the terrain of Taurus season and the transits. This being a Taurus new moon brings fixed earth energies, which will reflect how rooted we are in our environment, how we value our comfort zone. The ruling planet is Venus, the who, what, and how. We find what makes us feel good. It's sensuality and comfort all rolled into one. It can either be healthy well-being or unhealthy attachments like addictions. Venus is also finance related. Venus can help us find our life passions and turn them into financial goals. Taurus's home is the second house of resources and worth, your environment and how you value yourself and others. The what, where, and how to keep and treat ourselves. It's steady, stable, grounded energy, as well as stubborn and slow moving in fixed earthy energy. It's calm, warm, and harmonious at its best. At its worst, it can be debilitating or feeling stuck, waiting too long to make change, suffering in silence, and unable or unwilling to move toward what is in your own best interest. The second house, or cusp in Vedic astrology, also includes your natural born talents, a great place to look when looking for do what you love and what comes natural to you for lifelong stability and satisfaction. Okay, let's look at the other transiting planets. I'm delighted to tell you they are in harmonious alignment. Venus is here in its own sign of Taurus, adding more love, connections, of stability. With this new moon, she gives us a helping hand at intuitively seeing our way to move forward. Uranus and Jupiter are here too, giving us warrior courage and innovation to try something new, feeling optimistic, joyful, and lucky. Mercury and Chiron, the healer, are in Aries, encouraging us to do deep thinking about what is good for ourselves, mentally and physically. Plus, Saturn is still in Pisces, and Mars is in his home sign of Aries now, giving us freer, moving energy to act on our best spiritual behalf with the long-lasting positive change. Now, here's the Cards of Truth software chart of the day for this new moon, May 7th, 2024, Eastern Standard Time at 11:21 p.m., making it the tail end of a Queen of Diamonds day until sunrise on the 8th. You can see all the planets in the Mars and the Venus positions under the influence of the 3 of spades and the 5 of diamonds and the 7 of spades on the ecliptic. Not the easiest day. However, with all the planets in positive alignment, it's more about getting a bolt of lightning clarity, realization, and then sorting through our 5 of diamonds value and the 3 of spades ready and willing, and the 3 of clubs in the moon placement. With the 12th house of our undoing, self undoing, and spirituality, we are looking for intellectual reasoning to find what is right for us spiritually. Rahu, with the Jack of Clubs, encompasses the Ace, 2, and 3 of the club suit. So it's fast-paced, it's easier, it's a way of seeing our way of what we need and what we want. And this is just the beginning of 11 days of diamonds, setting the tone for this new moon. So look to your Cardology chart for where you have diamonds. Diamonds are the perfect setup for this new moon because diamonds also represent grounded value, resources, stability, natural born talent, and skills. Okay, before I get started, I have 2 quotes to share with you. The first one is by the self-made woman millionaire by developing cosmetics for people of color, Madam C.J. Walker. Don't sit down and wait for the opportunities to come. Get up and make them. The second is by the impressionistic abstract artist Roz Inga. You need to be deeply buried in the dirt before you can find your bloom. I would have said rooted in the dirt, but it's his quote, so we'll go with buried. All right, I'm ready. How about you? Let's get started. Okay, Aries Moon, we're going to ask, what is Aries Moon ready to receive and practice receiving over the next 2 weeks? And how can Aries Moon best utilize the energies of Taurus and the transiting planets at this time? Patience, courage, optimistic grounding for our own well-being that shifts us into a truer transformation of self and raise our vibrational aura. Aries Moon, this new moon transit happens in your 2nd house. You are cardinal fire and Mars led. So this new moon is about receiving an upgrade to your self-worth. You'll find yourself sorting through a lot of options of new money making ventures and other values. So there's going to be a lot to choose from. So you're going to need to really focus. You'll find yourself wanting to be distracted. Too many chocolates in the box. So focus on what has the most value for you. Okay, if you're checking your chart, then you're going to want to look to those diamonds. Okay, so let's see what the archetype card has for you. Child Magical. Seeing the potential for sacred beauty in all things. The belief that everything is possible. Ooh, that's nice. Shadow attributes, pessimism, depression, and disbelief in miracles. Believing that energy and action are not required for growth. Yeah, you're going to have your work cut out for you for this new moon, trying to stay focused and in align with what your values are. And in that process, you may find your mood up and down, as you test each little thing, getting either enthusiastic about something or feeling like nothing good is happening. It's that kind of energy for a lot of the signs. And you're one of those, but it really is just getting down and paying attention to what your needs are, what your wants are, and kind of doing a little sort through, as something comes up. Where does that feel like it is right for you, and what you really, really want, and what you feel like you really need? Now is the perfect time to be sorting through all of that. So to have a card that says seeing the potential for sacred beauty, that's that spirituality of Saturn and Pisces for long, long, beautiful positive change. This is the belief that everything is possible, So try not to get in your own way and get that lower vibration of that Taurus energy where it's just so gravitational, that pull, that solid feet to the ground, that it's hard to move. I have these days where it just feels what I call low gravity, where it's just hard. You just don't feel that lightness of being. So those are the days where you're really going to want to check in and sense and feel. Maybe pull a card, maybe look at your chart and see where you are. See what the meter is out there. Look at your daily horoscope, see where, your planets are, and kind of sort it through from there. Because to see the beauty in everything. Okay, so it's coming through that, I know it's kind of silly, but affirmations, get yourself a little pack of affirmation cards or a calendar, or maybe it will feel silly, but in the end it will put a smile on your face, or you might roll your eyes, but either way it kind of sets you back into your own energy, your own gravitational, your own knowing, and it sets you on a path of being closer to where you want to go. All right, let's see what you get for the Cardamonsi card, Spirit and Nature. Ooh, very nice. Two of Diamonds. Okay, I'm going to check to see where the Two of Diamonds is this month. And it is on the, let's see, it is the 17th of May. So be paying attention around that time, because the Two of Diamonds is going to give you this opportunity to really lock in, finally, right? All this time, lock in on what has the most potential. You may have 2 or 3 options here, and you may still need to kind of figure it out. But what I love about this card is that it is just intuitive money making. It is fast growing. It is a gift. It is little money plants. And it can be about moving, not like physically from your home, although it could. It is about moving into more alignment with yourself. It's about letting your own light shine, finding those magical ingredients. It's your talents, your skills. And it is definitely about seizing the day, because as I said, 2s are connective. That is putting it right on, literally on your plate to do with, share, keep it for yourself, have your cake and eat it too. This is moon energy as well as Empress energy. So it's just so fertile and beautifully luscious and abundance that you're going to have so much. It's beautiful energy, because it's also going to put you in a perspective that things are coming your way. It is going to feel like that potential, that possibility that yes, you can do this. You can take that step forward. It's going to be the right step forward for you. Always is. There is. Well, okay, so it's coming through as free will in these choices. So, whatever is being presented to you, you can take as much or as little. You can put as much effort or as little into what you're finding. However, I will say that this is a worthwhile start of an opportunity. It's got value and it has an independence around it, which is absolutely beautiful. Because who doesn't want to exercise their own independence? Especially you, Aries. And your Mars is there for you in the sign, right? It's in Aries. I know. I'm excited for you. All right, let's see what you get for the Lenormand card. Oh, you got the book. See, it's like a recipe. It's like a recipe for you to put together, put it all in the pot, mix it up in that beautiful, fertile, universal energy. It is just the most perfect measure of everything for you to come up with a brand new recipe for you. I know it sounds a little silly, but I love it because the book is literally saying that you're going to find it in a book. There is some kind of message for you that is going to come through either in a book or on a page. It could be any form of communication. So remember that, Mercury is also in your sign, right? And what else do we have here? I'm looking. That's right. Chiron, the healer. That's right. And this is encouraging us to do deep thinking about what is good for ourselves mentally and physically. So, and this also, not only that, because that's more of a spades thing as well, but what we're looking for is how you are valuing you. This is about you doing a self upgrade. So you're going to have some options. You're going to be like looking through the recipe book to just see what you're in the mood for, right? And that's such a beautiful reading. All right. I think that's it. We're going to look at the starseed card and see what kind of message you get from your spirit guide. Fruition, fruit. You're going to make a fruity, lovely dish. Rest assured, your dreams and visions will come to fruition. Oh, that is beautiful. Okay, Aries Moon. Best of luck to you, and thank you for being here. Okay, Taurus Moon, we're going to ask, what is Taurus Moon ready to receive and practice receiving over the next 2 weeks? And how can Taurus Moon best utilize the energies of Taurus and the transiting planets at this time? Patience, courage, optimistic grounding for our own well-being that shifts us into a truer transformation of self and raise our vibrational aura. Taurus Moon, this is your moon and it's transiting the first house. Now, that's with Jupiter and Uranus. It's about adventure and feeling ready for it. You are fixed Earth and Venus led. So, with this new moon, it's about an overall reinvention of self. You're being asked to try new things as much as possible. Go for what you want and have fun with it, and it will sort itself out. Sounds like a ticket to have fun, doesn't it? All right, let's see what you get for the archetype card. Rebel. Ooh. What have you got ahead of you this month? Or, well, the next 2 weeks anyway. So it says the light attributes. You challenge authority to effect social change. Reject spiritual systems that do not serve inner needs. Shadow attributes. Rejects legitimate authority out of anger, rebel out of peer pressure or fashion. It really is asking you to really follow your heart and your needs and what you feel is an educated observation of what kind of change needs to happen. There's a lot of change needing to happen out there these days. Oh, and Taurus Moon, you are one of the signs. Beautiful position for you to get this card because you're grounded, you're emotionally grounded and solid, and hopefully the rest of your chart is set up to support that for you. It would be really nice because what you're doing here is really, okay, so I just popped in, starting with the man in the mirror, starting with you and the reflection of you. That's what the moon is, the reflection of the sun. It reflects back to you what's going on. So this time period over the next couple of weeks, you're really going to want to put some thought into what you're sensing because you're very intuitive as well, especially with that Venus connection. And being in the first house is just a beautiful, beautiful place for all of this to be happening. So you're really going to be able to figure out what is your best interest, right? Because that's what it says. It's rejecting spiritual systems that don't serve your needs. So that is a very rebel thing to do at this time. Now remember, Saturn is still in Pisces, giving us that patience and that long-lasting change. So with this new moon, you could really start the ball rolling for yourself in the direction of finding yourself for real. I ran into someone the other day, and this is coming through to share with you as an example. We were talking spirituality, and they weren't sure. They were feeling in the need to start something, but they didn't know really where to go. So, and they weren't really spiritually aligned to any faith. They thought that all of them had a negative side, so they didn't want to have to listen to a preacher, that kind of thing. And it popped into my head to suggest that they try a Quaker, because I can remember part of the jingle of Quaker meeting has begun. No more talking, no more fun. Bite your tongue. I can't remember, but it's where you go and you just sit in a space that is quiet. You get to sit as long as you want, and then you meditate while you're there. You reflect on what it is that you came to reflect upon, and then you just get up and leave. It's perfect for a self-religion. The other side of that, if you are really wanting to get into a lesson of practices, try taking a spiritual overall course, one that tells you all of the history and the attributes and the downfall of certain or every religion. I took one back in the when was it? Early 90s, I think. I was looking for that. guidance, if you will, from a higher knowledge. And I went to go and see. And, I ended up on Taoism because it was the beginning or before Buddhism. And I like both because it's that yin yang of figuring out where your energies are, that balance within. Yeah, I have very little earth in my chart. You have a lot. So, with a earthy Taurus moon, it's the same for me with the Capricorn moon. A little different, but yeah, you being a fixed moon sign, and mine's a cardinal, so quite a bit of difference. So as you can see, you would want to more sit with this and really let it ground you into that gravitational balance that you just naturally have. So, spirit and nature, Catamansi, you get the Two of Clubs, moon energy. The Two of Clubs is this intellectual pursuit. It is emperor energy. So you've got all that strong strength, grounded, directional, knowing. Just beautiful. There's an abundance to this card too. The thing about the twos is that it is a reflection of the self, the sun. The sun is shining, the moon is in the way. So you want to look to your sun sign, obviously, as a reflection of your Taurus moon, especially being in the first house in these transits. So it's going to really highlight and open this intuitive connection for you this month, because that's the other thing with the twos. This moon energy is very receptive. So, yeah, this is fabulous. It can come in any form. You're going to get some answers to your questions. It's just going to intuitively come to you, or that synchronicities, seeing it in a book, getting it as correspondence. And that can be anything, the radio, a song, a music. It can come through seeing time differently. It can come through, numbers or music, or just butterflies. And what I love to say in the twos card around an intuitive coming to you is you can ask for it. You can ask your spirit guides before you even get out of bed in the morning. I'm ready to receive messages. Bring me something that tells me I'm on the right path, right? And you can ask for what that might be. I know it's silly, but it sounds silly, but it really isn't. In the middle of winter, I asked for butterflies, and it wasn't like one flew in my window or anything. But when I went on social media to keep up and my Instagram, what did I see? Butterflies. It's going to be that kind of reassurance for you, especially in the first house, because this is about reinventing you, and you're to try things. So the second that you get some little message coming through, or big message, stop and really consider what it is. Butterflies are transformation, aren't they? Right? But what if some other spirit animal came? Then check that out. That kind of thing. Flowers, go and look up what the flower is when you've asked for it, Symbols, anything. Absolutely anything. This is your chance to really play with it. I love it. All right, let's see what you get for the Lenormand card. Oh, the anchor. Yeah, so you'll just anchor into something of self. Now, it's a pulled anchor, right? So it's like I don't know what they call that. Do they call it pulling the anchor so that you can move, or drawing the anchor, lifting the anchor? I'm not sure. But it is moving forward, which, being Taurus moon, you may have some of that lower vibrational stuckness or feeling like you don't have the energy for it. Taurus can be that. I love that about Taurus, but at the same time, it can be the thing that is infuriating as well. But for you, I think this is a clear message to just get out there and become more of you, figuring out what it is that is going to put you in that alignment on the path of understanding your spirituality, how you're connected to everything, and possibly even finding that change, which can be a scary word for a lot of people, but it is in the cards these days, in the universe, in the energy of things, to shift. And shift as in Saturn in Pisces, for a longer lasting thing to do. Now remember, the card of the day, in the moon position, is that 3 of clubs, and in that chart is the 12th house, and that is the house of self-undoing. So think about that and understand that this is all about letting that go a little bit, unleashing that self-doing and moving into a more stability of self. You're on the path. Let's see what you get for Starseed. Observation. Expand your consciousness by observing the divine matrix of life. Yes, just asking you to move and be open to those synchronicities coming through just for you. When you add them all up, you're going to find it. You're going to see. It all makes sense now. Love it. All right. Well, there you go, Taurus moon. Best of luck to you. And as always, thank you so much for being here. Okay, Gemini moon. Let's ask, what is Gemini moon ready to receive and practice receiving over the next 2 weeks? And how can Gemini moon best utilize the energies of Taurus and the transiting planets at this time? Patience, courage, and optimistic grounding for our own well-being that shifts us into a truer transformation of self and raise our vibrational aura. Okay, Gemini moon, this transit happens in your 12th house of self-undoing. It's a contemplation, meditation. It also covers expenses, charity, and loss. But also there is a chance that you'll see what is going against you and see how to make it work for you. Talk about taking lemons and making lemonade. So you're mutable air energy and Mercury lead. So this new moon will be about making it time to take some time for yourself, time to sort out what you need to heal and set a path to bring more of what you really, really need and want into your life. Perfect opportunity to sort of go shopping for who you are. I love that analogy. You know, today, what pair of shoes would you call yourself? Are you a work boots to the ground, or are you in those Jimmy Choos? You know? Oh, makes my feet hurt just thinking about it. All right, so Yeah, let's find out where you are being invited to take a look. Goddess, light attribute, the feminine expressed through wisdom, nature, life force, and sensuality. The shadow attributes are exploitation of the female nature and form. Yeah, it's really about finding that feminine balance. The first thing that pops into my head is that yin yang or yang energy of finding the balance. There's a certain feeling of zen that's here present with me. So I'm wondering if you follow that spirituality, that Taoism or that Buddhism, where you're looking to really put your masculine and feminine energy into balance. It's here for a lot of us in these changing times and becoming more comfortable with who our true self is. You know, I always say we are on a spectrum, say 1 to 10, of who we are sexually, intimately, and where we really want and can feel our love, our sensuality, who we want to partner with, who we want to express as ourselves. You know, I like to wear very masculine clothing sometimes. I have a pair of combat boots. I have a lot of boots, and I wear them with very feminine shirts and that kind of thing. So there's this reminder through my day of knowing where my masculinity takes me with my boots and where I present with my femininity and softness through what I'm wearing. It's really a lovely reminder to just kind of set that tone. For me, anyway. And I'm wondering if that message needed to come through for you as well, because it's in that balance of when to be more masculine or when to be more feminine in the right circumstances, what you want to portray, who you want to embody for you. So the goddess card is really suggesting to take a good look at your femininity and what part of you. We all have masculine, feminine parts. So are you really doing it as much justice as you could? So we're going to take a look at that. We're going to see what else is going on here. And, but it is about taking time for yourself to sort that through. This is where you need to heal. They're suggesting that it is the feminine side that really needs to come into focus these days, to take some time to soften. Maybe you are in a position these days where you've really had to take a masculine role, and now you're being asked to counterbalance that. All right, let's see what you get for the Spirit and Nature Karamatsu cards. Ace of Diamonds. Well, this is a feminine card. Being a red of the red suit, it is diamonds, which is the sun and self. And it's also, as you know, it reflects the light to the moon. So it's a perfect card for you. And it is also about having this new opportunity present itself. It is an opportunity to really take a revaluation of how you see yourself, how you value that you. skills, talents. It's incredibly intuitive. So you're going to be right there with that messages to you. So you can ask for whatever you need. Show me that you're listening. Show me that I'm on the right path. Show me what's next. Give me a clue. Let me know that I'm headed in the right direction by showing me daisies, by showing me roses, by showing me butterflies, circles, squares. Let me find a lucky penny. Whatever you want to ask for, ask. It will come. I like to do that before I get out of bed in the morning. And I'm just laying there in the warm and cozy and thinking about my day ahead and just saying, let me know when I'm on the right path. And if I need to change things, you can ask it for it in that way as well. And they will bring that through for you. You are in that zone where you're going to be able to see it. You've got that extra energy around your 12th house that's being transited. That is that house of self-undoing, and it is you figuring out what needs to change. That's what you're taking the time to do. So ask, please show me, with great gratitude, show me where and what is in timely change. Show me what it is that needs the attention, and you'll get it. It is about being healing. You, the feminine energy, is a more healing, mothering, goddess type healing energy for you. It's love, it's nature versus nurture, but it's kind of both, really. The diamond suit's a little more grounded, a little more present, a little more open. And we will be having a Ace of Diamonds day during this new moon period. I'm just going to take a look here and see what day that's going to be coming on. That would be the 20th. So just a few days before everything comes to fruition. Isn't that beautiful? Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely taking a step forward in the right direction. All right, let's see what you get for the Lenormand cards. The Gentleman. This is very nice because look, we've got the Goddess, we've got the Gentleman, but he is always here to just say that you are on the right path. It says this principal card shows a man tried and true, held high in regard. He tells fortunes for you, and upon your behest, if the cards are read well, the worst and the best, the cards will foretell. I love that you get this single heart here as well, because that reads to me as an Ace of Hearts, which is also feminine. So it's really being okay with your masculinity to the point where, if you are masculine energy, then you're perfectly fine having that goddess female energy as well. Oh, it's so nice, isn't it? Oh, that really is saying that you're going to find what you need and you're going to be able to make the most of it. I really enjoyed this. This is really nice. Love when things come into balance and you've got aces and the feminine and the masculine all here balancing something of really beautiful balance and value. Very nice. All right, you're going to do just fine. Let's see what we get for the starseed. Earth Guide. Your sacred calling upon this planet is to simply love and be loved. That is so nice. Yes, spread the joy, spread the cheer, spread that glow that I know you must have. This is really beautiful. So you'll find it. You'll find what is that small or large block of self-undoing. It is perfect for this time period to really kind of embrace it. Beautiful Jupiter energy for you. So, and for all of us at this time. And with Saturn here in Pisces, it's really setting us up for something that's going to really add to our repertoire of self. It's really quite lovely. All right, well, I'm going to leave it there and say thank you. Best of luck to you. And again, thank you for being here. Much appreciated. Okay, Cancer Moon, let's ask, what is Cancer Moon ready to receive and practice receiving over the next 2 weeks? And how can Cancer Moon best utilize the energies of Taurus and the transiting planets at this time? Patience, courage, optimistic grounding for our own well-being that shifts us into a truer transformation of self and raise our vibrational aura. All right, Cancer Moon, this transit is happening in your 11th house. You are cardinal, water energy, and moon led. So for you, it'll bring a focus, like what people make you feel comfortable and how that brings value and worthiness to your inner emotional comfort. It's kind of looking for that from someone else, that reflection back to you. So you're going to get a lot of that impetus this time around to kind of check in with your friends, your family, your workmates, and everyone that's around you. It's really being super aware of how your energy plays with everyone else's, how well you're received, where you're overstepping your bounds. Are you someone that interrupts a conversation, or do you hold back in a conversation? So it's going to become really apparent as to where your energy comes into. I'm listening and talking at the same time. All right, where your energy bumps into other energy. So if you can, I'm getting this visual of you in your aura bubble. And as you enter a room, your aura just sensing all the other auras there, whether it be one person or a room full of people. You're so sensitive and so aware of everyone's meter of comfortableness. And what that is going to do for you at the end of each experience, you're to sit with that and to feel through how that reflects who you are at your core. Just kind of checking in with yourself around that kind of exchange, if you will. All right. Oh, right off the bat for you. All right, so let's see what you get for the archetype cards. Oh, wow, shapeshifter. Okay. Yeah, so, it is, I'm just like very energized by this. So let's read it first. Light attributes: skill at navigating through different levels of consciousness, ability to see the potential in everything. Shadow attributes: projecting any image that serves your personal agenda at the moment. Well, sometimes there's a need for that. If you are bumping into, say, some really strong fixed, grounded energy that's not budging, which could certainly happen in this time period. It's Taurus, that is exactly the lower attributes of Taurus, where you can be in a very good way, but when something as soft and feminine and intuitive a Cancer moon can be, it's really hard to even feel like you are there. It can be so overwhelming to look at. However, you are cardinal energy and you are warm energy. And in your own way, if you think of the weight of water, right? There's more water in this universal earthy planet that we are on than there is Earth. The weight of water is fluid and it always finds a way. It finds a way to move and get to wherever it needs to go. It's got great patience. So for you to be bumping energies with all of the everybody's and figuring out, navigating, it says navigating through different levels of consciousness. Well, what about that being you and your water abilities? If we keep that metaphor in mind, different depths, right? There's a lot that can be dealt with on the surface. Do you want to be there with the surface dwellers, or are you one of those people that think of yourself at a party? Do you do the mingle of the room, skating on the surface of things, or do you find someone to have a really deep conversation with about something incredibly personal, and they sought you out to get that counsel because you have that kind of aura. Every Cancer moon does. I just love that this bringing such beautiful metaphors to mind for me, because it is this level of consciousness that you have in your aura. And it can be the aura that is of these depths, having that outer aura be the surface. And as you get closer to who you are at your core, there is just this incredible depth. And the other part of that is your cardinal abilities, that forward thinking, where you can see the future. When you think about Cancer and the Chariot of the Major Arcana card, it's like at the reins, with mind, body, and spirit all working in unison toward the end goal. So what you need to consider is not getting caught up in too deep with the energies that you are bumping up into. You're not there to sort things out for the world. This 2 weeks is about bumping that energy and having that reflect back to you as to how you can carry your own and have your aura not only be that sensitive, but also have it be your bubble of protection as well, so that it can bounce back, meaning that it is also you being a reflection to other people as to how you are there, how you are present in that bumping energies, if that makes sense to you. Okay, let's look at the Spirit and Nature cartomancy. The Five of Spades. Yeah, it's really just asking you to get minimal about this. It's like finding your true you, putting it in something that is a box for you, metaphorically, not literally. You, carrying you. You can carry you in a piece of jewelry. You can carry you in a piece of clothing, a lucky penny, or some kind of charm in your pocket, and you just hang on to that, and it holds who you are and reminds you of who you are and how much energy you want to immediately understand with who you're there with. That's the shape-shifting part here. You're to listen to your core as to how much depth you want to expend in what company. So what's coming through is about knowing when to say when you're really being well received. Because if you're talking with someone that is so black and white that they're not going to listen anyway, they just want a sounding board for themselves because they're that kind of extroverted self energy, you're to listen, yes, but not to so much offer the advice that they are quick to say, oh, that'll never work. No, you're to offer the kind of advice as to be that mirror of, really? Well, what are you going to do about that? And put it right back on their plate, in their aura. They'll look at you like you've got two heads. They'll be like, what? I'm supposed to do something with it? You're not going to offer up 10 different ways to Sunday to make me all better? No, not. Minimize. Minimal, minimal, minimal. Clean up your aura. Get to that really beautiful, minimal state where you're clear, very clear about what energy you're bumping into, and sort it very quickly. Whether you want to stand there all day and help somebody hash out what they don't want, or if you want to just say, you know what, that's not mine, that's yours. Okay, you go sort it through. When you're ready for some real conversation, I'll be here. But now you're not ready. Okay. All right. So interesting, isn't it, for you? Because this is about you feeling comfortable, right, with the people. It's that bounce for you this month. But what that will do for you is really understanding your value. You are taking care of your value. You're not spending energy on the things that just want to absorb it, right? Okay. This is your worthiness that you're protecting here, your inner emotional comfort. You don't want to overspend, overtax yourself. For you, less is more, and to be paying attention to how much you're giving beyond what you really need to. Okay, one more message coming through for you, and it is, see if this fits, teaching people how to fish and not just giving them fish. The more information, did you try this? Did you do this? What about blah, blah? And they're all like, no, that'll never work. Instead, you put it back into their hands with, wow, that's tough. What are you going to do about that? And, you've got such potential in whatever potential that person has, forward thinking or grounded or potential in one thing or another, and then hand it back to them and put them really in a lighter, brighter, more positive place. Okay, that was for you. Let's see what we get for the Lenormand flowers. Oh, I love the lilies because this is really about an outlook that is bright, and it is about getting passionate about what it is ahead of you and feeling good. It is lightness, and it is being in a really good disposition to be able to do this for yourself. All right, that's great. And I love that you've got the Ace of Spades here, because I know that's not how the Lenormand cards are read, but I can't help pulling in the cards of truth and the cartomancy meanings for these symbols in the corner. And the Ace of Spades, that is about deep revelations, deep truth about you, the depth of you, and feeling incredibly secure in it, understanding, being present to you, being open for you, being tuned in to your depths and how much of that and where you spend it. Ooh, this is so good. All right, I'm going to read the starseed card for you now. Let's see what you get. Oh, blue star. Follow the light of your inner compass, the blue star. It will lead you to the truth that resides within your soul. Wow, if you can go and get yourself a blue star trinket for the next couple of weeks and to put it on your altar if you have one, or your nightstand, so that you can dream about exactly that. Your truth. Your truth. Your truth. Taken down to the actual core being. Oh, I love it. You shape shifting into something that fits you way better. All right, Cancer Moon, thank you for being here. So appreciated, and the best of luck to you. Okay, Leo Moon, let's ask, what is Leo Moon ready to receive and practice receiving over the next 2 weeks? And how can Leo Moon best utilize the energies of Taurus and the transiting planets at this time? Patience, courage, optimistic grounding for our own well-being that shifts us into a truer transformation of self and raise our vibrational aura. All right, Leo Moon, this transit's happening in your 10th house, the house of occupation, your father figures, your status, and your wealth. You are a fixed fire energy and sun led. So for you, it'll be about how you make a living, your career, making more money, how it's a reflection of your self-worth, and how you want to be appreciated for who you are. When they say status and wealth, it's also about how you feel about yourself and your position in life at the moment. Where you want to go, what you want to do. Are you doing what you love? Making a living at it. All right, let's turn over the archetype card and see where you're being invited to take a look. Companion, light attributes, loyal, tenacity, and selflessness. Does that selflessness. There we go. Get that off the tongue there. Shadow attributes, betrayal by misusing confidences, loss of personal identity. First thing coming through for you is how much of a companion are you to yourself? Because astrology is ultimately about you doing you. And how do you take care of yourself? Are you a loving partner in this relationship? Talking about companions as ego and soul and spirit and all the everythings, all of the parts of you. If you are familiar with the family dynamics way of thinking, internal family systems, there it is, where we are a family within. We have all of these parts that have developed and, over a lifetime, and they are, in the way I like to envision it, sitting at a round table, or an oval table seems to work best for me. And you are your spirit self at the head of the table, and so is ego. It's kind of like you've got this partnership in business and personal, and you have to listen to everybody. So how do you listen to what's going on inside you? As if you were a business where the CEO, you're there 50-50 with ego and spirit and you've got to govern, if you will, this business of self. Okay, sorry about that. That seemed a little trippy off the tongue, but there it is. That's the first part. The second part is, in reality, how do you show up for your peeps, your teammates, your family, your loved ones, your loved one, the one? If you are single, then of course it is who are the most important people for you at this time. Being a Leo moon, I know you probably show up big emotions, big love, big giving, big receiving, just this brightness of being, which is so beautiful when you come into a room. However, on the challenging side of that, you're kind of expected to do that as well. So you may not always feel like showing up as the bright light in the room, but you feel obligated to do it. So that's not being so true or right living for yourself. So how can you do this within a career? We're talking about your occupation, your status, how you want to show up in the world. This is how you want to be appreciated for who you are. And if you can't be yourself fully, you're not being fully appreciated. So it's to show up in your truth and be appreciated for that, not always as a one note, that you are larger than that. And you kind of have to be, don't you? Because it is about the family, how to be a part of a team, if you will, the one within and the one without. Okay. I guess that's it for now. Let's see what we have for the Spirit and Nature card. This is the Jack of Clubs. Okay. So Remember, today's chart, the Queen of Diamonds, has the Jack of Clubs in the Rahu, where you are to explore and to kind of look for answers, look for direction. This is a great place to look for direction because it encompasses the aces 2 and 3 in the same suit, jacks do. So ace, 2, and 3 of clubs in the chart of the day. The 3 of clubs is in the moon position, right? So this is pointing directly. All right, so more of the chart explanation and how it's also representing of the Uranus position. So I'm being asked to relate to you that to look to see if you have Jack, Ace, 2, 3 of clubs in your chart. And if you do, to definitely be paying attention to what's there, what card you have there, and where your birth planets land and houses, because it's going to give you better direction for the message coming across for you and how you show up for you, because ultimately you taking care of you is where you need to start, because you've got to have the confidence in that. You've got to support yourself in that before you can show up for anybody else. That's a given. So look to see, because the aces, 2s, and 3s, Ace of Clubs is a lofty idea coming to you. It's an original new enterprise, a new way to go, a new perspective. It's visionary, it's mood lifting, and honestly, it's perfection for looking to see how you can expand into more opportunities, more money, more status, more all of it in the best way possible. And we'll talk about the shadow sides of it as well when I review with that, because I'm going to do the positive first, because you've got the 2 of clubs as well. This is moon energy, like that 3 of clubs, which takes you to the 3 of clubs, which is the key card for the club suit. 3 leaves on that club. 3 will be important to you through the month as well. So look for 3s. Whenever they present themselves, be paying attention. Even if there's just 3 people in the room, right? Anytime you see a 3, this is going to be you paying extra focus, extra attention, extra quiet, so that you can see and listen and absorb to what's going on around you. Very important. So 2s of clubs, the moon energy, is emperor energy. Powerful, really, in those grounded strength and vision of where you want to go. Putting those 2 together, it's an opportunity that you need to take advantage of. It's there for you to do whatever you need to advance. Well, not everything, you know what I mean, in the best positive way. Needed to say that. And then you've got the 3 of clubs. It's that Mars energy, the strength energy. And that is all about thinking. Broad thinking, realizing where you want to take that calculated risk, to explore. Much like the Rahu, if you have 3 of clubs in your Rahu, you better let me know, because this is what you are to be doing. Thinking, choosing, understanding what inspires you, what lights you up. It's a test. 3s are tests, but it's working pros and cons. It is how well do you really know yourself? It's having the integrity to show up for yourself as well. Really asking you to be your own best friend. Taking care of you, right? It's the only way you're going to be able to take care of anybody else. You are being asked to step into some kind of leadership role. The Jack of Clubs is a person that can do just about anything. And it's got that Uranus energy. So look to see what you have in your Uranus position, because it's creative, it's inventive. It is exactly sitting there with Jupiter right now. It's perfection. You're so set to do this. Lots of energy with the Jacks. It is a young energy. It is this idea, connect, sustain, and watch it come to fruition. It's fast-paced. It's clever. Clever as the day is long. Focused. It's about promotions. It's about being an entrepreneur. It's visionary. And as I said, clever, and also because of that clubbiness, you are a wordsmith. You've got it on the tip of your tongue. So what to look out for with all of this abundance of really beautiful. It's the self-talk through that companion card, that shadow attribute. About the betrayal part being the betrayal of self, lacking in the confidence to believe that you can do this. It is not really buying into who you're becoming, who you want to become, having those abilities to get there from here. So what to look out for would be that critical speech, or the opposite, feeling superior. Watch out for plagiarism, because plagiarism is definitely a part of the club's suit. You got to watch out for that, so make sure it's coming from an incredibly honest place. In this time, in those shadow attributes of that Taurus gravity and being fixed, you are fixed fire, you could have difficulty getting out of your own way. It's one of those things where you don't know which way to turn, you don't know what to believe, you don't know how to feel about something, you haven't really explored what that means for you, you get diverted and tempted by other things. So there's a real difficulty in focusing on what you need to focus on. And you can also get, and as this shadow attribute as well, kind of Machiavellian, with the fake it till you make it. So you don't really want to buy into that. Okay? Those are the consequences of undermining yourself, right? So don't do that. Stay in that higher vibration and take the time you need during these days ahead, because I also want to tell you that the Jack of Clubs is within this 2-week period of the full moon. Interestingly, it is the last day. This is when it comes to fruition for real. It is the 23rd. The full moon is out that night around 7:40, I believe it is. So all day on the 23rd, right? Right up to the very last moment, you are being invited to show up for you. Sort it through, understand it, and get ready, because you are being asked to step into a higher role, whether that means within the company, whether that means you're about ready to launch something entrepreneurial. It is you doing you, being able to be there for yourself, but showing up like a boss that is really able to be there for everybody else too. This takes maturity, confidence, right living. So be sure to take care of yourself very well, because this card is really high energy and you're fire energy, and it's about self here. And being Leo is all about finding that balance within the feminine, the masculine, the yin, the yang. It is finding that beautiful balance that you can ground into as that fiery, beautiful self energy, and take that into a new version of whatever it is that you are doing for an occupation. And being Leo moon, it's coming through as what if you were to start up a rock and roll band, or, some kind of band, some kind of group. And you've got the personality, you've got the looks, you've got the charisma of being that front person. And the way this is set up with that aces, twos, and threes, you're also the wordsmith. So maybe you are a songwriter, maybe you are a poet, storyteller, writer, I don't know. But if you were, you can show up that way, but it's a group. So how are you going to manage among the group to include everybody? It's like your inner family that you need to show up for. Think of it as a rock and roll band where it's full of egos, full of good ideas, and you're not only kind of in charge, but you also have to take care of everybody else too. That's what you're stepping into. Okay, let's move on to the Lenormand card. Ooh, thinking, cloudy or clarity. Yes, that is for you to sort it through. Exactly. It's going to be fast. It's going to be lightning firing, and you're going to be in your element, and it's taking you where you need to go. Just take the time to figure that part out, because that's going to be the make it or break it. Whether you're thinking solely about your ego self and all those shadow attributes, it can be a healthy ego thing too, and doing the right thing for you. But the adult thing to do is to think of it for everybody and do the best thing for everyone. Maybe doing the right thing for you is the right thing for everyone. That you have to figure out. All right, let's see what you get for the Starseed card. Guidance. You are not alone. You are guided by masters and teachers of the highest realms. Ask your guides to be there for you, to give you some little something, an itch or a sneeze or something to allow you to stop and gather, take into consideration, and then proceed with the interest of all parties, including you. Be your own best companion. Oh, and taking care of everyone else. I love it. All right. Well, best of luck to you. This is fabulous. Congratulations. And also, as always, thank you so much for being here. I truly appreciate it. Okay, Virgo Moon, let's ask, what is Virgo Moon ready to receive and practice receiving over the next 2 weeks? And how can Virgo Moon best utilize the energies of Taurus and the transiting planets at this time? Patience, courage, optimistic grounding for our own well-being. that shifts us into a truer transformation of self and raise our vibrational aura. Okay, Virgo Moon, this transit is happening in your 9th house, the house of higher learning, your father's DNA, travel with purpose, traditions, luck, and being a wordsmith. You are mutable earth energy and Mercury led. So this new moon will have you aligning with a deeper need for higher learning. There is your father's DNA in this house, so it could be a really good time to get philosophical about what traditions were yours growing up or into adulthood, what comes with baggage from your father's side. And this could be father in the bigger sense of any male figure in your, or masculine figure in your environment. It could be a really good time because it's going to be lucky, right? And the best part is that it's activated with the Jupiter energy that is so strong right now, that 9th house. Okay, so let's turn over the first card and see where we or you are being invited to take a look. Prince, light attributes, romantic charm, and potential for growth. I'm sorry, I didn't say growth. It says power. Interesting. That just came right through. All right. Shadow attributes, using power for self-grandizement. Well, the first thing that came to mind was about the father's DNA, and this being the Prince card. Princes, like the Jacks, and in the tarot, it's like with a knight, or it's like being an apprentice, knowing that one day you're going to be stepping into the king or queen's position. So it's kind of like an audition. You're always in audition to prove that you are gaining in the capabilities of being 100% there as the dynamic, all-encompassing leader in a more masculine energy rather than a feminine energy. And in that masculinity, it is about making quick, decisive decisions from a mature, educated, knowing, just having lived it kind of way. It is really the tried and true. It is being a veteran of whatever it is that you're facing at the moment. It's just having this wide, broad intellect and knowledge really beautifully put here for your 9th house transit that you're experiencing. Of course, the house that your moon is in your birth chart, definitely play it off of that 9th house. What are the connections with it? How does your birth placement moon, the house that it's in sign, play off that 9th house of the transit? Okay, all right. This is very interesting. Also, because there's this charm about the prince, right? The prince is in the fairy tales always the one that has this young, beautiful, perfect energy that is all giving and caring and uplifting. You know, there's rarely a dark side to the prince, often to their own detriment, if you will. So there is this need to look at how much you show up as feeling like you need to show up in a bigger, brighter way. Okay. It's about charming people. It's about showing up and doing what you need to do, that sweet talk, and having that come through in the best way possible. Charming people is one thing. Being a wordsmith around it is taking it to a whole new level. You got to mean it, right? It's got to come from a true, real, right place. Okay. We're going to be looking at that. Okay. Oh, okay. And where your father's DNA comes into play with that. Was your father a charmer? Is that DNA on that side of the family, does that bring forth a charming capability? Are you really good looking from your father's side, right? Your father's DNA. Whether your father's present in your life or not, there is DNA that comes with his energy. If you're here, you have a father. So that DNA needs to be, if you can, looked into. If you can't, use a pendulum, play some cards, understand what it is about that charm you are looking at, because it can work for you, obviously, and it can work against you, obviously. So that's what they want you to look at, okay? Because it's power in it. It's power. You got the Six of Hearts, so this is interesting. Okay. So the sixes are at the height of their accomplishments and achievements, and they're in it. They're being appreciated for it, and this is in the Venus element. Sixes are Venus position. So that plays right into that Five of Diamonds in the Queen of the Days chart. And all of the planets are there in Venus. So this ties in Venus being that beauty, that warmth, that fuzzy, warm, comfortable, velvety, ensconced gravity of Taurus. It's all right there in this card. And what else is it? It's the Devil card in the Major Arcana. What does that tell you? It tells you that there is balance needed. There's truth beyond everything else needed. Truth in how you are taking care of you in the most truthful way possible. You know the Devil card. There are chains linked to the Devil that you could easily remove. You're chained because you want to be. So in order to take a really good look at those chains, what those links in the chain, links in your DNA, charming, romantic, emotional, and it could all be bullshit, but it could all be truth from source. You're being invited to find your truth and to embody it. in the best way possible. Like you are getting ready to step into those shoes of the king. This is all that higher learning of the house that is being transited at this time. For you, Virgo, moon, Virgo, right? Earthy, beautiful, service to others, sixth house kind of thing. You are also in service to your own self, your own health, your own well-being, your own care. All of that, of course, has to be part of the Prince, which represents the jacks in the cards of truth. And in my readings, it is the jacks. So look to your chart to see in your birth chart if you've got a jack. If you do, pay close attention to where that is. If you've got a six of hearts in your chart, that's where you really want to begin. And the Venus, right? Anything in Taurus, and my goodness. Okay, so is that everything? Masking, right? Okay. Okay, so I'm being asked to talk about the luck of this house activating the Jupiter energy. So the lucky part of this is really in your favor. I mean, we've got a beautiful alignment here just for that. It's lucky in that this is brought with a charm, if you will, that you're not going to get too far from what's right for you. You're going to be catching yourself, because that's also what you really, really, really want. You want to be the truth. The Virgo part of things, the wordsmith part of things, very nicely playing into this. Do a lot of writing. Do a lot of meditation with a pad next to you. Draw pictures. Meditate. Go inside. See what daydreams come up for you. Where does your mind go? What can you write about that? And understand that it's all related to basically becoming this Six of Hearts here. You understanding your truth to a new height, higher learning. It's being balanced. It's being committed to yourself. It's feeling secure. It's that nurturing that you do for yourself. It comes with two things really. Being incredibly tolerant of any bullshit that comes in. You're going to use it, because that's the lucky part as well. If you know about the wheel that you can spin if you're telling stories and you're kind of stuck and you don't know where to go, and there's a whole wheel of ideas. They lose their job, somebody dies, somebody gets pregnant, there's a marriage, there's a new romance. I mean, it's full of these ideas. It's going to be like that for you when you are in the thick of it, and you're going to be lucky in picking and choosing the right thing, because this is kind of a faster paced energy that is also just kind of comes with a ability to say the right thing at the right time. With this, you get a validation from an outside source. And that is that luckiness as well. You're going to be hitting the right notes with this. You're going to have this, again, this unique and deep understanding of what's going on emotionally around you. You're going to really feel in your element and moving forward in this really beautiful way. You're not going to need to do this self-grandizing. I don't know if you're going to have time for it. You won't need it because whatever just comes naturally to you during this time is going to be the right thing. It's just going to flow. Cool. Let's see what you get for the Lenormand card, the house. Yeah, this is always you being comfortable. I mean, you think of the weight, the gravity of a house. This is you really being solid, grounded in who you are. You are so going to be in your element, feeling your oats, loving where you are at this time, being able to really have that stability and know that, as it says here, in love and play, your chance to win depends on love you first. Depends on how you first begin. Totally read that as love. Isn't that interesting? So that was meant to come through for you. Depends on how you love and first begin. And you've got the single heart. That is the Ace of Hearts. And that's you. That's sun. That's self. All that bigness, that brightness, that beautifulness. And it's going to be new, and it's supportive, and it's you, it's home, it's aura, you and your aura. Love it. Plus, it can also mean the ace, and I don't know if we could count it here, but popped into my head, so maybe you're going on vacation. I don't know. Have fun if you do. I love it. Buy yourself some flowers. Yeah? Yeah. Okay. Let's see what you get for the Starseed card. Courage. Live your life fearlessly with courage, strength, and determination. Embrace. You've got it. You are certainly in that lucky Jupiter mode this month, but this 2 weeks. Take full advantage of it. All right. That's enough, and that's all that's coming through. So I want to wish you the best of luck, and I want to say thank you. Thank you so much for being here. I truly appreciate the support. Thank you. Okay, Libra Moon, let's ask, what is Libra Moon ready to receive and practice receiving over the next 2 weeks? And how can Libra Moon best utilize the energies of Taurus and the transiting planets at this time? Patience, courage, optimistic grounding for our own well-being that shifts us into a truer transformation of self and raise our vibrational aura. Libra Moon, this transit is happening in your 8th house. It is the house that brings the energy of the occult, sudden changes. And it could be a real realization to how you pay more attention to you. Your cardinal air energy and Venus led. So you're going to want to be paying attention to how you might be able to live longer, healthier, have your lifestyle be what it needs to be. By seeing where you could make some changes for your comfort. Okay? All right, let's see where you are being invited to take a look. Servant. Talk about comfort. It's like doing it for everybody else but yourself. That immediately came through for you. All right, the light attribute. Delight in serving others with a free and loving heart. Shadow attributes, using the lack of money as an excuse not to move forward with life. Yeah, how we hold our best selves back. So tying this in with the whole thing going on now with the how to take care of you right through this, with the gravity, and also with this this eighth house energy, like sudden change. There's this possibility that comes through that, and I'm kind of all over the place here, but the Jupiter energy bringing luck and the Uranus energy bringing unexpected this and that, and the eighth house being of sudden changes. So this could come through for you as that, as I was saying in the intro, that bolt of clarity. So you really want to look to your birth chart and see what your cards are saying about your life path, right? Your Rahu. And this is really feeling pretty choppy, but it's coming through in pieces that way, about really wanting to do for you. That is the major message here, that you do a lot for other people, and in some ways that's the excuse for being too busy to really attend your own needs, your own comfort. And that's what you're supposed to be doing this next couple of weeks, is seeing how you can be more in service to you. Basically, that is your message, that you can take all that pleasure in doing for other people, but where might you share how they can pick up some of that for themselves? Are you the one in the office that brings coffee for everybody, so you take an extra half an hour to get to work to do that? Or maybe they could all get their own coffee, or maybe that could be a shared thing. In your household, there are times when you have to be that person that picks up, that keeps things clean, that keeps things neat, organized, where you want them to be. Libra moon, you like your balance. And that can be to a fault, meaning that it can also be difficult to share that sort of thing. It can also be needing that reflection back from those very satisfied faces, loving the service of what you do for them. Fulfills you because you can see that all of your efforts are being appreciated. That's great, but not if it comes at the cost of you not being able to do what you need for you. So being the eighth house, right? It's the occult. So this opens you to a lot of privy, interesting word to be coming through, privy to that Neptunian, airy, elusive information that during the eighth house energy, you're going to be able to see deeper, clearer. It's going to come through more of a rush, less of a trickle. Libra's really, in that Libra, Libra's at the seventh house, partnerships. So part of that balancing, part of this servitude is finding that balance to do for you as much as you're doing for other people. I know I've already said that like 10 times, but for some reason that needs to come through for you. That as much as you love it, it's time in whichever amount or way or the how, when, all of that, but it's here for you to rethink how you might put some time in for you. And the opposite is true as well. If you're sitting there saying, well, I don't do anything for anybody, I'm the queen on the throne, then maybe, no, not maybe, then obviously, and it's coming through that you're going to definitely get the messages of this 8th house clearly about how to find that balance for your Libra moon. Gosh, we hadn't even turned over the Spirit and Nature card yet. So let's take a look at this. The 4 of Clubs. It's pure stability here. You getting grounded into more of a right living for everybody around you, a much happier, more contented, grounded place to be. Your cardinal air. There's a lot of energy around that, a lot of forward thinking, a lot of possibly getting dragged into what you want, future, instead of paying attention to how you can get your needs met today, in this moment. How you might start taking a minute, taking the time that you can until you can work it into something better for yourself. Let those messages come through for you, because this can come through suddenly. That's too a part of this 8th house. So when you get those realizations, right? When that intuitive messages come through for you, either suddenly or it can take a little longer. You might need to do some thinking over a cup of tea. But when it happens, that's where you want to be paying more attention. This is for you to live a longer, healthier life. Just by seeing where you might need to buy some new pillows, get better sleep. I mean, it can be as easy and as little as that. All right. Okay, that was it. Okay, all right. One more thing. The 4 of Clubs is a planner card. This is also the Hierophant energy. And it's Mercury energy. So Mercury brings in the cards of truth in the chart. It's the 4th placement Mercury. So it's communications, and it needs to be said that it is a communication between your Libra moon's need for balance, the pros and cons. So it's going to take some thinking around that. But you've got the Hierophant there to channel through. Big things coming through for you. It's a grounded teacher. That is your spirit guide, grounded teacher over this next 2 weeks. I did this for the card because it is also related to building, like an architect from the ground up. It's grounded teachings being put into practice for a practical, don't you love it? Solid, stable, secure satisfaction. All right, there you have it. Let's see what you get for the Lenormand. Oh, good, the Lady card. And the single spade, which is that epiphany, that deep truth, that important discovery, revelation about you, self. It's about being secure in it, being enthusiastic about going for it, being present and in the moment. and seriously tuned in. So listen to that channeling. You've got it all going on here. This is your time, okay? And this just brings a real fortune, a fortunate piece to the whole thing for you. And it is really, as it says, unveil the fate that destiny traced. Yeah. Okay. It is your destiny. So look at your ecliptic path. That's it right there. All right. Nice. See what's in your ecliptic position. Perfect. And your Mercury. That would help you quite a bit to figure out how you can get this balance within. Let's see what you get for the starseeds. Inner alchemy, of course. Inner alchemy is achieved when you react to fear with love. Yeah, stepping outside your comfort zone can be a little squirmy and unsettling, but if you do it in the timely way that this is coming, it's going to be those sudden changes, those abrupt realizations that you're going to want to jot down and really save for deeper thinking when you can carve out that time to do so. Because that is really where this message is going for you. All right. I would love it. I love the 8th house. This is all about really talking to spirit on the ground. I love it. All right. I hope you do too. Thank you. Thank you so much for being here. I super appreciate it. And as always, thank you and best of luck. Okay, Scorpio Moon, we are going to ask, what is Scorpio Moon ready to receive and practice receiving over the next 2 weeks? And how can Scorpio Moon best utilize the energies of Taurus and the transiting planets at this time? Patience, courage, and optimistic grounding for our own well-being that shifts us into a truer transformation of self and raise our vibrational aura. So Scorpio Moon, this transit is happening in your 7th house. You are fixed water energy and Mars led. So you're going to feel the 7th house energies of partnerships and possible travel, and possibly finding yourself in the public eye. This could be the catalyst for improving relationships, for more emotional comfort, either in business or in romance. Wow, it sounds loaded, doesn't it? Let's see where you are being invited to take a look. Could be a very lovely loading up of some loving, beautiful energy. Let's find out where the archetype cards are asking you to take a deeper look. Trickster. Are you a playa? Maybe. The light attribute, transcending convention, stiffiness, and predictable behavior. The shadow attribute, manipulating others through duplicity. Wow, what a card for the 7th house. And Scorpio Moon. Interesting. Because we know Scorpio is all about those rebirths and letting something go. It's very fleeting. It's very fickle, or can be. It can also be incredibly fixed in a way of thinking that might not be the best way of thinking. Or it can be really dedicated to doing something that you really, really, really think is the best for everybody. And they really run deep. You're here to really, in this lifetime, Scorpios are here to do the heavy lifting of the emotional zodiac, and to be asking to do this in the 7th house of partnership, romance, business, or your loved ones romantically. It could be, as was given to me, the catalyst for improving those relationships. That improvement has to come through you. It can't just show up and have you be influenced in a way that it's not going to affect you. Everything that's going to be going on for you is going to be a catalyst for possible change, or a possible catalyst for real change. It is that Saturn in Pisces still. We're looking at the deeper future well-being, spiritually and otherwise. It is about fulfilling your destiny, your meaning here. You emotionally led by Scorpio with your moon. It is really interesting to see how that would bounce off other people, especially with this trickster card. So, that first thing that came to me was are you a player? Are you fickle? Do you commit and then you don't commit? Do you fall in love head over heels and then later decide it was the wrong thing? Do you jump in and then you have to jump out? You could. Do you get obsessive? Are you playing someone in order to get what you want? And on the other side of that, you could be so compromised by indecision that you're easily played and manipulated into doing something, being something in a relationship that does not serve you. So that is where you're being to look. Manipulating others through duplicity, which could be you getting duped, right? That's a big one these days, because it doesn't even have to mean that it's from intent to do wrong, simply for being that puppeteer. It could just be that you want it. You want to be loved. You want love. You want to see the good in people, because it's so much lighter and fun than where you're here to do the heavy lifting, to adult your Scorpio moon into saying, need a moment? Need a moment? That feels rushed. I feel rushed. I feel like I'm rushing. I need to slow things down. That kind of thing. So that you can really grasp what's going on for you emotionally. Weigh the pros and cons about what you need to be doing, how you need to be doing it for you. This is about you. We are looking for your emotional comfort within relationships. So during this time, this could have a lot to do with figuring that out, being a trickster or being tricked. All right, let's see. Destiny, love it. All right, let's look and see what we have for the card. I love it when this comes up. Usually lately it's been fate. This is destiny. So this is interesting. You definitely want to be looking at your ecliptic and thinking about where that might lead you. I usually just do it with my fingers, let my fingers do the walking and the talking through the deck, and it will tell me which one is meant for you. All right. Ooh, I'm close. Yep. Yes. Right there. Ooh, 7 of clubs. That's good. Now, it's about letting something go intellectually to allow for something better to come through. This is about moving from a victim mentality to a warrior mentality. It's about having those bolt of clarity coming through instead of waiting for source to take the tower out from under you. Right? It's also the spiritual gateway card. So this is your opportunity to fulfill your destiny by bringing more, I want to get this right, more maturity around understanding the death card because of the Scorpio piece. Many deaths, many heartbreaks, many hurts add up. I'm really feeling really kind of sad, and I'm sorry. It's like you're grieving and you've had a lot of hurt lately. There's been a lot of having to step up and be brave. Well, thank you for doing that and knowing that this too shall pass, that tomorrow, today, tomorrow can be a lighter experience. All right, that was for someone. That was hopefully for you. I think almost anybody could appreciate that message. So hopefully that is ringing true for you. Because the 7 of clubs is exactly that as well. It is sevens, I am a 7 of clubs, so I understand this card pretty well. And it is about letting not only beliefs of what you thought to be the ultimate truth, the concreteness of something, that sevens don't live in that for long. That belief gets destroyed either by the tower or by a bolt of clarity. You realize that you've been lingering because it's not a place that you stay. It's a place that you hesitate or linger in for a moment before you understand that there's a more mature adulting, growing all the way up, putting your boots on, getting to work, doing the hard stuff to understand deeper and more well-rounded, more balanced, so that you can take those lessons and grow from it. It's not a place that you stay and nurse your wounds forever, which is also the Scorpio thing, right? Scorpios do that time and time again. It is of depth and water energy. And it's hard for a fixed sign to pull themselves out. It's coming through for someone that you wait too long. And during this period, there is that tendency to feel stuck and not wanting to take on yet another thing. So, all right, it's coming through. You are to think of it as the butterfly, as air energy that the club suit represents, to have a lighter conversation, maybe finding the humor in something that's begging to be recognized, so that as a true gateway card, you move on to that natural Scorpio 8th house and understand the huge, universal, never-ending process that this beautiful life holds. And it is truly a grain of sand on a beach of endlessness. So, given that, it's almost like being a kid in the candy store. Say you buy your penny candy and you drop a piece, your favorite piece, on the way out, right? You can't eat it. It's filthy. It's got ants crawling all over it. It's done. It's like dropping an ice cream. You're not going to eat it. You're going to have to throw it away. But on the other hand, you've got this other whole bag of candy, right? Stick your hand in and find something new to begin, Scorpio, once again, over and over and over. Embrace every single one of those. That is going to move you further on down your path of destiny. Emotionally speaking, because this is your Scorpio moon and it's transiting the 7th house of your relationships, right? So look in your own birth chart. What's in Scorpio? Where is it? What do you have there? What sign? What house? And put those two things together and make a story out of them. That's going to help you a lot in finding your direction through this. All right, let's see what you get for the Lenormand, the scythe. Yeah, see, you just got to cut something out. Begging for you to let all of that bag of emotional baggage go out the window. It's like shaking a sheet, beating a rug. Let it go. Done with it. Done, done, done. As I have a friend who says, delete, delete, delete. Perfect. Okay. I hope that resonates. Ooh, I embrace the 7 of clubs. I'm like looking for something new all the time. Yeah, let's out with the old and in with the new. Done. Okay. Let's see what you get for the starseed. Creation. Being creative is a wonderful way of witnessing the unfolding of your limitless creative soul. Think of it creatively. You lose something, you gain something just by the simple loss of losing. It opens you up. It clears out for something new. And gosh, all of these single, I've gotten the heart, the spade, now the diamond in the suit in these readings. In this suit, it's the Ace of Diamonds, which of course is the sun itself. It is the new opportunity, a new start, valuation of, can be money, skills, talents. It is really taking a inventory of what you truly value. Okay, so there is that one more piece that wants to come through for you. That value of what you hold near and dear. And often that can mean a loss in that hits hard, hits home, is a bigger lesson. And maybe that's where in the beginning of the reading, I really felt this bigger loss than this normal, everyday, lessons learned and moving on. Sometimes something bigger happens. However, this is transcending convention, not to get stuffy and stuck in predictable behavior. So it's waking up to a real new way of being that is clearly about not putting this false face on, but allowing your life, your ups and downs to really be a part of who you are. I mean, talk about growth into maturity. Scorpios have the most of that, I believe, in a chart. It's a lot, and I think sevens have an awful lot of that to do as well. So, wow. All right. Get creative with it, they're saying. Okay. All right, Scorpio Moon, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. And I just want to say thanks again and best of luck. Okay, Sagittarius Moon, let's ask, what is Sagittarius Moon ready to receive and practice receiving over the next 2 weeks? And how can Sagittarius Moon best utilize the energies of Taurus and the transiting planets at this time? Patience, courage, optimistic grounding for your own well-being. That shifts us into a truer transformation of self and raise our vibrational aura. Why I started there with aura. Maybe yours is expanding and echoing at this time. What a lovely visual that is. All right, Sagittarius Moon, this transition is happening in your 6th house. That's health and well-being. It's problem solving. It's also debt and obstacles and enemies. So you're immutable fire energy and Jupiter led. So this new moon, you'll feel your joyful Jupiter energizing you to make some changes for the better lifestyle. Now, we're talking about comfort and streamlining a more ease of comfort for yourself. The less is more kind of a thing. And what's coming through already is about stress and anxiety and fear and all of those lower attributes that may have been visiting you a lot lately. It's been a rough season, a rough start to the year. All of the eclipse stuff going on. It is time to really shed some skin and take on a lesser load, lighten up and bring a more lightness of being to what you pack and travel with. Metaphorically, how much stuff you're holding inside that really is starting to weigh you down. Okay. All right. Well, let's look at the archetype card and see where we want to go with this, because that 6th house can be kind of tricky. When it talks about debt, that could be money, but it could be just your soul, what you came here to pay back, to make right, to do the right thing, pay your debts from past life experiences that in this lifetime you said that you wanted to do exactly blah, blah, blah to make things right, to fulfill that obligation. And that obligation can be to yourself, Doesn't have to be an outside thing. It can be an inside thing. Maybe you did yourself wrong in a past life, right? You're here to make those things right. Which, of course, we all love the catch-22. You've been tossed many an obstacle in your path, and some of those things have made enemies. And it could be enemies within as well. Ultimately, astrology is about self. So there could be inner conflict. There could be inner undermining, Machiavellian, secretive, other self's behavior that undermines where you really want to go in this lifetime. These are the obstacles that Source tosses in your way to test you on just how much did you really mean it. Like a lot. The bigger the obstacle. Or you know what? You're just being asked to show up for you. That can be difficult. But it can also be as easy as lightening the load. That less than more came through for you in this reading, and it means letting a lot of that baggage that's not serving you, that's really weighing you down and holding you back, let it go. Like your fire energy, set fire to that bag of crap and walk away. You're done with it. This is the season right now to really think about that and to say to yourself, what's going to lessen this anxiety for me? What can I let go of? What limiting beliefs do I still try to convince myself is here for me to do something about? Haven't I already taken care of that 100 times? Where's my soft, cushy spot? I want to go and ensconce myself in velvet and have a cup of tea, cup of wine, something to settle into a new way of loving myself. Wow. Okay, Sagittarius, here we go. Let's see what you get for the archetype cards. Storyteller. So what stories are you telling yourself? That's the first thing that comes in. Light attributes. Ability to experience and express life through stories and symbols. Shadow attribute. Making up tales that harm others. And we can look at this as self because, as I said, ultimately astrology is about you taking care of you and showing up as more you. Working on what you're here to work on and doing the right thing as you can, as you have the opportunity. And if that is in hindsight, you do it and you move on. So whatever stories you are telling yourself about how you do you really wants to be looked at pretty closely, because if you are in that shadow attribute of telling yourself that it's something different than it really is, that's more baggage. But if you can be honest and straightforward and really understand it from a more bird's eye view, not sure why that came through for you, but they want you to see the bigger picture, the umbrella. And they want you to look at your ecliptic. They're saying look at the ecliptic. The ecliptic is the umbrella of the chart. It encompasses everything because it takes everything into consideration. The ecliptic is your path of destiny. It's where you are, how you walk the walk, talk the talk. It is about your survival, and the rest of the chart can influence that, but ultimately it is how you process where you're going and how you're going to get there. And you're to use it to the best of your abilities. Like all of the positive attributes of your ecliptic come into play, and all of the lower vibration comes into play when you're in self-doubt. So look at that ecliptic. It's super important. All right. Yes, let's look at the cards of truth, spirit and nature. It's like you got the ultimate storyteller card. Of course you did. So the Queen of Clubs, this is a perfect card for you to get here because she takes it and she gets rid of all the crap. It is editing and deleting at its finest. For, guess what? Truth, intellect, smartness. I mean, it's like you get down to the core of the core of the core. I mean, you just keep going into it like those Russian dolls. I don't know what that is called, but when they're inside each other, opening it up, going further and deeper into your truth, your ultimate tale of life, past life influences this life. When you're doing the problem solving, you can't take it at surface value. You have to look deeper and see the bigger picture. All of the everything's coming into play. Takes a little while. It takes some investment in self. It's understanding where you're undermining yourself. And it's also really shows you how you put obstacles in your own way, partly by storytelling. And I mean, this could be metaphorically, but it could also be what you do in real life, how you show up when you're open your mouth to say what it is that you need to say. How much pressure do you feel when that anxiety and that stress comes up to be in your having been conditioned to please somebody? That somebody needs to hear something, somebody's ego needs to be polished or brought to some new higher level of feel-goodness. But it's at your expense because you're not telling your truth or living your truth. So it takes away, it undermines, it puts an obstacle there that now you've got this to deal with, this indiscretion against yourself. Well, the Queen of Clubs is a very good card for you to get because, as I said, she encompasses, it has the energy of the 4s, 5s, and 6s of clubs. So 4, you see it, you understand it. You've got that obstacle, that big bag of obstacle, and you know exactly what it's worth. Then you understand the worth. Now you get down to seeing the gem that's inside. It's like having a lump of coal and manipulating it into a diamond, or turning, like the Midas touch, turning metal into gold. There's always a nugget, and that nugget is found through that 5 of clubs. It's Jupiter energy. You're a Sagittarius moon. It is there for you. Yeah, it expands it. It shines a great big light on it. And it's also judgment. And just for that, the four, where you're seeing it for what it really is, that's Hierophant energy. That is a direct message, a direct download from Source through the highest vibe, through old school knowledge, universal knowledge, drawing it from every corner of the universe and handing it to you. And the five is also judgment, which brings in how you see things, discern things, what judgment you place on things, including yourself. And then there's the six. It's saying, okay, I found the silver lining, the nugget of gold, the pearl in the oyster, the whatever you want to call it, the gem, the sparkly bits. Now I know what to do with it. That's your six. That is your highest knowledge. The sixes encompass Venus energy. It's masculine energy. It's forthright. It's direct. It's knowing what you need. And it's the lovers from the major arcana. What is the lovers? It's you knowing your highs, your lows, your ins, your outs, your best abilities, your falsities, your discredits to yourself, which can be a discredit to everyone because you're not showing up fully. People love you. They're going to be there admiring and appreciating you for real. That's where you want to be taking this. Okay? And just on a fun side note, because we're in this 2-week period of the new moon, the Queen of Clubs is here on a day. And I'm looking now to see which day it is, and it is the 20th. May 20th is a Queen of Clubs day. So this is pretty good because it's pretty close to the end of the new moon, almost there to the full moon. You got a couple of days to go, but it really gives you enough time to sort through what stories you are telling yourself to keep yourself on this path that's not completely and fully your truth. You're here to get there from this. And you're to do it by that sixth house energy, right? Sixth house energy of solving that problem, number one, your own health and well-being, to get rid of the debt that you feel you owe or that's piling up because you're reluctant to bring more of you to the table. Maybe you're worried that you're going to hurt somebody's feelings or upset the apple cart in some way. So this Queen of Clubs can help you with that, those obstacles that keep you from doing it. Those obstacles are undermining you because you can look at them as falsities that are, all right, it's coming through as like a leech that's sucking your blood, or a tick that is just drilling in and hanging on for nourishment to their own benefit. They don't care about you. And that's that enemy. That's what you're shedding. That's the less is more. You can move into that more part now, more you, more honesty, more loving who you are, living that better life living. Okay, that was it. Oh, and you got the star in the Lenormand, which is perfect because the queens are incredibly intuitive and open. They part the veil between us and where that Hierophant wants to bring it through for you. It's going to come. It's going to come like Jupiter does and be a light the way. Very, very nice. So creative with it too. You'll find a way. Yes, you will. I can feel it. I know you know. I know you know exactly what I'm talking about. Pay attention to your dreams because this is dream work. This is definitely dream work. And I love that you get the six hearts here. I always relate these cards to the cards of truth, and that six of hearts come through at the top of your game. This is where you are so creative and so flowing with the goodness that you are up for this challenge. You are really being socially validated from an outside source, other people seeing you in a brighter light. Every time that you can speak your truth, more of that. Oof, so nice. Okay, that's what you get for Starseed. No limitations. You are a celestial being with ultimate potential. Ultimate. I said ultimate, but it says unlimited. Kind of the same thing. Potential. There is much for you to share. Oh, please, please do. Please do. This is so beautiful. Let your light shine. Beautiful. Love, love, love. Okay. All right. That's it. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much for being here. I truly appreciate your support and I just want to wish you the best of luck. Okay, Capricorn Moon. Let's ask, what is Capricorn Moon ready to receive and practice receiving over the next 2 weeks? And how can Capricorn Moon best utilize the energies of Taurus and the transiting planets at this time? Patience, courage, optimistic grounding for our own well-being. That shifts us into a truer transformation of self and raises our vibrational aura. Okay, Capricorn Moon, this transit is happening in the 5th house of creativity, consistency, knowledge, education, as well as having the opportunity to see through anything false or glaringly off course. You are a cardinal earth energy and Saturn led. So this energy is going to add to all the stability and grounded warmth and care to take a real inventory for what's really important, sorting through what you're done with and moving on to what is more value to you. All right, let's turn over the card, archetype card, and see where we are being invited to take a look. Warrior, light attributes, strength, skill, discipline, and toughness of will, heroism, stoicism, and self-sacrifice in conquering the ego. The shadow attributes, trading ethical principles for victory at any cost, indifference to the suffering inflicted on others. This is such a Capricorn card. I mean, we do kind of have that cardinal thinking. I mean, you can see the end result. You know where you're going, what the best is for everyone concerned, including yourself. You understand that. You've got the discipline to get there. You know, think of the goat climbing the mountain, right? And it's the devil card. You're always sorting through, you know, what's good, what's bad, what you need to get rid of, what's going to get you forward. There's this, at the best, the toughness of will is really about sticking to your guns and seeing something through. That is that heroism and that stoicism. And you're willing to self-sacrifice to conquer the right and wrong of that, what's holding you back and what's going to take you forward. That is the major arcana devil card, and they're just always so spot on, so brilliant. And it's how we also keep ourselves back, because there's the flip side, the catch-22s. It is the possibility of that lower vibration of allowing what we think is comfort, but in reality, it is an addiction or a lust for something unhealthy that we think is possibly like a reward or a treat. We trick ourselves into thinking that that's what we need. I've been so good, so I'm gonna go eat that entire gallon of ice cream. I've been so good that I'm gonna just skip work today. I've been so good. I'm gonna ditch the friend or the thing that I was meant to go to today, and that would have been really good for me, and not. Yeah. I mean, that is Capricorn, and it is also partly Capricorn to throw somebody else under the bus in order to get where you want to go. Because in the bigger scheme of things, it's worth it. No. But we tell ourselves that, and I say we because I am a Capricorn moon as well. And I have it in the first house of self. So it's super strong. It's my only earth in my chart. So it is my tether. So it comes in pretty strong and pretty domineering. And I'm fortunate and lucky to have it in many, 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 many ways. But it does also often come with those other lower vibrations, and you really have to stop in your tracks and ask for that time out to go and sort it through, because that's also part of being that cardinal earthiness. You need time to pick the right way. That if you think about the goat going up the mountain, very sure, right, of its path, but it's in those seeing, being open to channeling from source the way to go. Can be done pretty quickly, but it can be done pretty darn slow and careful. Think of the rabbit and the hare. You've actually got to be both to do the whole cardinal best for everybody, including yourself. Capricorns often forget to put the oxygen mask on themselves first so that they can help others. They're often, throwing themselves under the bus to move toward their end goal. So it's time to take this and get some consistency with it, some further knowledge and education around why we keep doing that to ourselves, and how to get back on track and take this as a warrior into that being able to make those quick decisions. This is also having an opportunity to see through any falsities. So that's in ourselves. Ultimately, astrology is about self. So we are really kind of looking into our inner landscape of pitfalls and bridges and traversing the terrain, getting around those mountains that we put in front of ourselves or just appear, because that too is part of the Capricorn experience, right? All right. Let's turn over the Spirit and Nature cards of truth. Oh, we got Destiny. Okay. All right. Let's go to the deck. And if you've been here before, you know I let my fingers do the talking and I feel my way through the deck, and they will tell me when they tingle which card it is that is the right one to be pulled through. And if you're new to my channel, this is how it's done. My way, anyway. All right, let's see. Okay, there it is. Right in here. This one. It's the Four of Spades. It is in reverse, and that's okay because I read them both ways, so we're not going to worry too much about that. But it does suggest in the reverse that we're reluctant to take time for ourselves, that we're too driven, we're too in need of accomplishing our end goals. So that feels pretty real, doesn't it? So we're talking about how to bring this Four of Spades into what we're doing here. Taking that time out, asking for that cup of tea, to sort it through, to take a moment to give it your full and uncomplicated or the full attention, to just really dive in, dissect it all, look at all the ins and outs, do the cardinal thing, go and look at your ecliptic, see what your life path destiny is all about. If you've got the Four of Spades in your chart, go there. That's your first go-to. What else is in there? What's with that card? And understand that that's playing a part in this figuring out how to take care of you so that you can take care of everything else. You are looking at what's really important here. Not all the busy work, not all the distractions, not all of the can't do it right now, not into it right now. No. How to put the nose to the grindstone, sort it through, and get there. This is giving you time. It might not be the time you want to take, but it is the time that you're going to need to get it through. So fours encompass the Hierophant, the black fours. So this Four of Spades is Mercury energy because the fours are the fourth place, Mercury. And the Hierophant, receiving that higher wisdom, that universal, collected from whatever source, whatever place, whatever future, past, present, universal, delivered to you. All you got to do is sit down and give it some time. Might not be right away, might take a little bit, but you got to ground. That's another thing about the fours. They are grounded energy. So it's that earthy energy that you can really root into and allow that stability to really put you in the right position energetically inside to make these choices, to look at that inventory list that you have and cross a few things off, reorganize it, put something else at the top, you might want to get creative about it because it's fifth house that this is happening in. So I'm all for it. I love looking at something differently, turning it upside down, giving it a day, throwing it into a what if situation, pulling some cards, thinking, what if while sitting here having my cup of tea, thinking about my spade suit things, my well-being, mental and physical remedies and cures for allowing my vision to be influenced by some other little something, pull a card and see what that is. What is that card? Is it hearts? Then check in with your emotion. Is it clubs? Maybe you need to do a little more thinking. If it's diamonds, perhaps you need to really ground a little bit more because that is about that value. And perhaps whatever card that diamond is what is either helping or not helping. Figure it out. That's your end goal. Spades are all about giving it some more spiritual infusion, is a really good way to put that. Okay, so let's look at the Lenormand and see what we get here. Ship. This is really nice because this is saying that you're going places, that there's this wind in your sails, that you're in the right direction. There's no wrong direction with this card. It is about getting from one place to another. It's very, very, very good energy. This adds up to the 10 of spades. It's not always easy, but oftentimes that makes it worth more value. It might be that you need to put a lot more effort into having this change happen for yourself than you were bargaining for, but it is a change for your destiny, okay? Now, what's the number for the ecliptic? It's 10. Okay. Spade suit. The 10 of spades, which I know, if you're just doing the Lenormand cards, this is not part of that, but I always associate it with the cards of truth. So the 10 of spades is also the magician card. So if you're rooted in the earth, stable as can be, totally here, but you also have a direct channel to source. You can make things happen. You just got to kind of give it over. You've got to open to it. You got to let it flow through. There's no tight hold. No, it's throwing up the windows, opening the doors, physically, mentally, metaphorically, allowing that energy, welcoming it in to shift things up a little bit, getting creative within to allow this to happen. So you're moving into what's really, really real for you, what's really valuable. It's definitely a taking of inventory. But that's a good thing because you want to hold those things dear and near. They're part of you. They are where you're coming from in your truth and entirety. So be aware of that. Do check your chart. See where things are. The ecliptic, 4 of spades, if you have it. Find out where you're going with this. Okay? All right. Because this is a beautiful ship with the wind in its sail, full of beautiful cargo headed straight to you. This is that energy that you are channeling for them through the magician. I'm happy. That's good. All right, let's see what we get for the starseed. Release. Release anything that keeps you from your path of authenticity. Exactly. Talk about editing, deleting, taking that inventory, allowing for that change to happen, to enthuse you, to bring that really creative, fun fifth house attributes. Okay. All right. Well, there you go. Okay. Wishing you the best of luck. Thank you so much for being here. I truly appreciate it. And I just want to say best of luck. Okay, Aquarius Moon, let's ask, what is Aquarius Moon ready to receive and practice receiving over the next 2 weeks? And how can Aquarius Moon best utilize the energies of Taurus and the transiting planets at this time? Patience, courage, optimistic grounding for our own well-being. That shifts us into a truer transformation of self and raises our vibrational aura. Aquarius Moon, this transit's happening in your fourth house of home, happiness, your mother's energy, art, vehicles, hidden treasure. Now, you're a fixed air and Saturn led. So for you, it's going to be about stopping to smell the roses in your environment, your garden, yourself. This taking of a moment to appreciate what's in front of you and opens you to seeing your same old situations in a different light, which opens you to new ways of feeling and moving toward a happier contentment. That's very interesting, isn't it? So, what does that really mean? Well, it means that for being a fixed air and Saturn led, your energy with this moon in the fourth house can get pretty darn heavy about thinking it's the same old, day in, day out. Maybe you're living with someone who is so utterly predictable, it is really weighing heavily on your want for freedom. It's almost like with an Aquarius moon, you want to see the bigger picture. You want to bring it. You want to do for humanity. You feel like you've got such an abundance of big ideas inside and want to share them, but you find yourself with your feet stuck in the mud. It is like you're in quicksand some days and hard to pull yourself out of a way of thinking. It's almost like you get trapped in this box where it's tough to open from the inside and let yourself out to change things up. So for Aquarius moon being in the fourth house, it's about just allowing that to be present with it, to look at it and see it. Now, this takes you somewhere where you're being asked to find the humor or the love of that consistency. All right, let's take a look at the archetype card, the Hermit. You are being seriously asked to take a time out and to just, as it says, seek solitude to focus intently on inner life, serves personal creativity. The shadow attributes: withdrawing from society out of fear or negative judgments of others, refusing to help those in need, or just not being able to, like I was saying, stuck in the mud, feeling like you have no choices, that you're being held back. It's like I've often heard in well, it's an old metaphor for marriage, the old ball and chain. And yeah, it can feel like that sometimes, dragging, the life you have behind you, trying to lift it up and moving it forward when you've got someone in your life that's even more stubborn and grounded as you are, my way or the highway. And there's this major tug of war of, and by the time you're done, you're just too exhausted to do anything but go sit down and take a breath, which is exactly where you are being invited to visit. Not live there, but to sit there for a few minutes, for a few hours, maybe you take a weekend, maybe you go do a thing for you for once, just for you, so that you can get clear about what you want to do, where you want to go, what you're part of here in this fourth house. So, how happy are you in your home? What's the energy like? How is that related to your mothering? And by that, you can even, if you know your mother's history, your mother's DNA that got brought down to you, and even if you're adopted and you don't know who your mother is, you can always, two things, you can always just, you can ask the cards what your mother's DNA was. You can ask a pendulum and it will tell you if you're right or wrong and in how many degrees. You can hold your pendulum over a deck of cards spread out and it will tell you what card you need to pull. You can go by section, you can go by card and get a yes or a no, but it is there for you. They love it when you do that because you are asking for help and guidance, and they're there for you when you need it. And you can also just understand that in that measuring of your happiness and your mother's energy, if you know your mother's and the baggage that you have due to the mother's family, what's been passed down, the conditioning that you've endured, right? That kind of thing. So that's where you are being asked to take a look, because oftentimes we are so wrapped up in our own stories that we really don't see the forest for the trees. It's bigger than we are. It's much deeper, much denser. There's a path through. But sometimes it can be really difficult to see when you're in that tug of war, either with someone or within yourself, really not giving yourself that time and that allowing for the appreciation to come through. You just want to get the job done and get the hell out. But this is where you can create art. You can appreciate art. You can ensconce yourself with beautiful things, meaningful things that really feathering your nest, your environment with the things that matter. And you can find hidden treasure, which basically means those gems of appreciation for what that taking a moment to dig deeper into a thing to find the diamond through all the coal dust, the silver lining of the rainy cloud. It opens you to feeling it differently, sentimentally, deeper, knowing in your heart of hearts that it's your work to do. Your happiness depends on you, not somebody else. Don't give it away. Don't put your happiness in somebody else's hands. If you are in a relationship that's fulfilling up to a point and then leaves you cold, think about how you need to fill that space for yourself. Yeah. Okay. The Hermit comes in as allowing for that to happen. This is some solitude, some alone time, some time for deep thinking. Whatever that looks like for you, a cup of tea or a day at the beach or a walk through the woods, it is yours, your time. Focus on what you, in your times of not being in a relationship, times when you've had to do something for yourself, what did you choose? I love asking myself that question because it allows me to understand what I truly want at heart and how I can get it for myself. And when you have that, you can offer it to the people in your life, to your loved ones, to bring that newfound comfort from an old thing into your environment, that you can bring flowers home every day if you want to. Is that something you used to do? Wouldn't that be lovely for everyone? So, and when you do that, you move into a meeting your life fully. And if you're in a partnership, you bring that to the partnership and make a stronger connection. How to play together, how to work together, how to take care of yourself so that you can take care of someone else, and have that exchange of love and contentment and just being there. I know, if you are in any relationship, there's always a give and take. It changes day to day, sometimes minute to minute. And you have to step into that adulting for yourself and other people, being there to gently and kindly move yourself in the right direction, right? All right, let's see what we have for Spirit and Nature. The Eight of Hearts, it's the ultimate taking care of you card, but it's also the Rahu card. So do check your Rahu and see what cards you have there, because that is where you are being asked to explore yourself, your feelings, your needs, your wants, what's going to make a difference for you. With the transits and the planetary alignment with Saturn being in Pisces and really influencing that Pisces 12th house. Now, that's the house of self-undoing. So this is the time to really sort through how you're undermining yourself, what self-talk you do. And it's a red heart, which means it's more feminine energy. It is energy that asks you to look at things from a different point of view. The Hanged Man is the major arcana card. So it's about really finding validation within. It is a self-validation card. So it's sorting all of that through by exactly what this fourth house is asking you to do. Find your inner hidden treasures by taking a moment to contemplate, to look at things differently, upside down, sideways. Tip it around from another person's point of view. Perfect timing to pull cards and ask, how may I? How can I make a difference? What do I need to think about? Great. Okay. Anything else? Okay, that's right. Okay, so the Eight of Hearts can be a marriage card. It can be about warm relations because it's how you meet someone in a connection. You bring your whole being to it, or the best that you can, right? This is friends. This is mutual feelings. It's being friends with yourself, bringing you to fulfill your life and live your life to the fullest. Okay. Yeah. Beautiful. That's what you get for the Lenormand card. Oh, fish. This is always a plentiful card. This is like the number of fish in the sea, an abundance. There's so much wealth and so many gems and so much hidden treasure, the depths of the ocean and more. So much there for you to discover about who you are and how you love and how you bring that for yourself and for other people. Really a beautiful reading. You're just being offered to take a little time to sort that through. And with the single diamond here, this is a new opportunity to see yourself different, in a different value. It's highly intuitive. And it's lots of energy to do this. So no more tug of war. You don't really need to tire yourself out. That is a diversion to getting to the real things that you need to be unearthing. Okay? And that is where you're going to find your diamond of a self to take to the heights of God knows where, because there's so much of it here for you. And just for the fun of it, diamonds are sparkly. They are beautiful. They're alluring. You are really having this moment of fabulous, shiny, bright, attractive aura. So if you're looking for love, it is here and waiting for you. And that can be the same for within a relationship. You can find that new spark. Fun. All right. That's yours, Aquarius. See what you get here for the starseed. Inner alchemy. Inner alchemy is achieved when you react to fear with love. So, yeah. Nothing to fear. No more distractions. Let's get to it. Let's give yourself some time to just check it out. I know you're fixed. I know it's harder, and that's okay. You're air. You're gonna work it through. You're gonna talk it through. You're gonna have that conversation with yourself, and it's gonna lead you to that deeper meaning of where you are and where you want to go. That's that Saturn energy, which is in Pisces right now. Couldn't be set up any better for you. All right. Best of luck. I know I say that all the time, but I truly mean it. And I want to thank you for being here and supporting. It truly means so much to me. Thank you. And again, best of luck. Okay, Pisces Moon, let's ask, what is Pisces Moon ready to receive and practice receiving over the next 2 weeks? And how can Pisces Moon best utilize the energies of Taurus and the transiting planets at this time? Patience, courage, and optimistic grounding for our own well-being. That shifts us into a truer transformation of self and raise our vibrational aura. Okay, Pisces Moon, this transit's happening in your third house of skills required for work, exercise, and siblings, teammates, and ambition, courage, short distance travel. Yeah. So Pisces, you are mutable water energy and Jupiter led. So for you, it's going to be about exploring around your environment and looking for ways to clean up and out while sprucing up all the bits and pieces, getting your ducks in a row, and finding a more efficient way that opens a higher level of comfort. Ooh, streamlining to the couch. That just popped in for someone. I can see you diving into it now. Big, soft, cushy pillows. Got the remote in your hand. Going for your favorites. Got a new series. It's starting. You can't wait to get into it. Yeah, I hear you. All right, let's see what we've got for the archetype card. Athlete. I don't think I've ever pulled this card before. All right, let's read it here. Light attributes. Dedication to transcending physical limits, including handicaps. Development of personal willpower and strength of spirit. Shadow attributes. Misuse of athletic ability for selfish ends, false sense of invulnerability and entitlement. That's such a great card. Wow, that just really speaks to you doing you and how you do that. Let's take a little look at breaking this down. So, transcending any physical limits. So that can look like so many things. And we're talking about this happening in the third house. So this is skills for work. It is exercise, and it's also your siblings. It can be your co-workers, meaning the teammates, and how ambitious, how courageous you are. And it also plays into short distance travel, and where you're looking to clean out and clean up and sort it through, really getting all your stuff organized. Are you into the videos on YouTube about tidying up and having your space free of clutter? Cleaning, ease of cleaning. How much do you need to take to the transfer station or to donate? Put it in the donations bin. One man's trash, another man's treasure. What simply has seen better days and it needs to be recycled out of the house, out of your environment, because we are talking about physical and mental. Cleaning it up and taking care of what is bringing you that energy of want to. This is starting to make so much sense. Get off that couch. Put the remote down. It is early morning, you know. It's like, that's how you want to have your coffee, okay. Or your cup of tea at night, or your wine, or whatever it is that you like to have. Sparkling water came into. Okay. Now, what we're doing here with this card is really developing a willpower that, or creating a space that allows for your strengths and your willpower, the spirit of it, right? Your spiritual willpower and strength to have a voice. When you're living in all that clutter, you can have a cluttered mind as well. So, and if you are a neat neck, you can get lost in always having to have everything perfectly lined up and put in a row. So that can be a distraction, getting in the way. of you, taking care of the spiritual you. It can be that, well, I am taking care of the spiritual me. That's where I find my spirituality. But it can be a false obstacle that you're undermining yourself by having that to do. It takes you out and away from that time out where you are really taking care of yourself physically and mentally. Okay. All right, let's move on to the Spirit and Nature card and see what you get here. The Nine of Spades. So first look and see if you have the Nine of Spades in your chart and what that might mean for you. And I didn't even think of this for any of the other readings, but you know, the little card that sits on top of the card that's in its placement is where you are being influenced, and what is making you want to do it. It is supporting. And the one under it is undermining. So I'm a 7 of clubs, and I have the Jack of Spades in the upper. So that is a way for me to think about situations. There's a lot of letting go with spade suits, and the Nine of Spades is no different. Now, the Nine of Spades is the K2 energy, so that's going to be about letting something go, and that means more of a spiritual cleansing. It is seeing your strengths and your weaknesses. It's a healing. It's a healing by clearly seeing what baggage is still connected. You know, it's not having a perfectly organized house. That helps, but we're looking at the clutter within, not the environment per se, but your inner environment and how put together, how organized you are in that respect. Because a Pisces moon can be pretty unorganized in the emotional realm. It's very elusive. It's incredibly intuitive. And it can get so full of ethereal messages that it can clog up the wheels of feeling that freedom to think outside the body and think about taking care of the physical by taking care of the mental. I hope that makes sense, because that's what both of these cards are really suggesting. To get over the baggage, get over the handicaps that you have mentally and physically. And maybe not so much get over, but understand and put into perspective. That's the word coming through for you, that insight that you need to really understand what the weaknesses are, whether they be real or not, you know, physically, mentally, that kind of thing. And to understand how trapped that can make you and how unhealthy it is to use that to keep in that cycle. It's a part of this card in its lower attributes is imprisonment, like imprisonment caused by addictions or just feeling stymied or lacking direction. It's about being confused and really being, or what can be, recluse in really in your home, a recluse in your relationships, but it can also just be so inner wound around you. The me, myself, and I is coming through. So you're to look at that and to start clearing a path to a more enlightened state, basically. Because what you want is a cleaner flow of energy. Cool. Yeah. I mean, I can see another word coming through is getting a routine that helps you stay on track. Okay. All right. So check your chart, see what you have in your K2, that south node, and you'll find it in your sevens up above, the seven inner planets, that K2, the horseshoe shape little symbol is there somewhere. So see what card you find that in, because that will give you a big clue as to where to begin the begin of letting go of something, right? Okay. If you have any questions, put them in the description box below. I'll happily revisit this and give you more clarity around what's happening for you personally. Okay? All right. Let's look at the Lenormand card. Mice. Well, the mice are something that's there trying to undermine and steal from your well-being. So, yeah, that is definitely that what they're addressing here as the what needs to be let go. So, being mutable, your moon in a mutable sign is really going to work for you here, because it's going to allow you to think in many different ways and be willing to try something new to see if that helps. Jupiter here is brilliant because you've got Jupiter with Uranus and it's joyful initiative. All of that's going to work for you. It's a matter of finding pieces, cleaning up the mess, clearing out the baggage, including what's undermining and literally stealing your time so that you can organize your brain and your physical routines in a more efficient, straightforward, staying on the path, less distraction kind of way, because what's going to happen is that opens you to a comfort level, a peace of mind comes to mind. That's really what they want to bring forth through here now, is having a peace of mind. P-E-A-C-E, peace. Okay. That's for you. All right, there you go. Let's look at the starseed and having gratitude. Universal love shines through the miracles of life all around you. Let the light in. Clean it up. Get organized for you. Find a routine. Get into the groove. And just feel your energy, the grid of your energy open up and letting that light through. Oh, that just makes me want to take a nice deep breath. And it's so comfortable there. So nice. All right. Well, there you have it. I hope it resonates and let me know, please. I wish you the best of luck. This looks really like a beautiful timing for you to get into just letting some stuff go. All right. All right. Well, thank you so much for being here. I truly appreciate it. And seriously, best of luck.